What's up, guys? This is Rob of Black Hill Woodwork, and in today's video, we're going to be turning this. So this piece of wood is just a side grain cut out. You can see a little bit of the pith right there, but we're going to be turning that away. And I think we're going to be making a rolling pin. Very easy project. You just connect it between centers, no chucks needed. You just make it straight on the lathe. Cut it off, sand it all up, and you're done. So it's a nice, easy project. People love them, and it's actually pretty fun to make them too, depending on the wood. I did turn this species before, and I thought the grain would look really nice, but it ended up looking kind of boring, to be honest. But I don't know, maybe this side of it or whatever will look better. So not sure. Let's put on the lathe, start turning, see what this piece looks like. And sorry if I sound kind of crazy or sick. I literally just woke up. It's like 5:30 in the morning right now. Just a little update for you guys that have been following me. I would post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think I'm going to switch that probably to every Wednesday and Friday. Just started working on a farm. Pretty long days, so when I get back, the last thing I want to do is get in the shop. And I know it's sad to say, but the only thing I'm thinking about is my bed. So anyways, yep, put it on the lathe, start turning. All right, 800 RPMs, and it's a pretty straightforward project, to be honest with you guys. Let's just round it out at first, get those edges off, and then we can shape it. I'm gonna start off with my roughing gouge, and then I'll move to my bowl gouge. Okay, it's not completely round, as you guys can see, but it's okay. Using the roughing gouge, just a quick method to knock down those edges. Does not have to look pretty, as you can see. I mean, this does not look pretty at all. So yeah, so now let's start making the actual shape. I'm gonna leave off like maybe ½ an inch on both sides so that I could cut it off a little bit easier and sand it a little bit easier, you know, for the two handles. You guys could just use a simple log, put it straight on here and do the same thing. The thing with logs is that, you know, the pith is right there in the middle, and it's pretty risky doing that because most likely it'll just crack the whole way because of those two piths. So that's why I'm using side grain right now. I would recommend side grain, but if you want to just try it out, just get a simple log and use that. So now I'm just going to get my ruler, make some nice little marks. How does that look? That would be the handle. This would be the actual rolling pin part. Well, I just noticed that these are definitely not equal. So that line is not correct. It's supposed to be 2.5. Handle, and that's the middle part. First, I'm actually going to use my parting tool just to make sure I know the difference between the middle and the handles. Okay, now I'll get my bowl gouge, take some of this material off. Okay, that's going to be a handle in the middle part. Now, kind of just do whatever you want. Just make that shape. First thing I'm going to do is round this out, and then I'll work on the handles. Guys, we're wood turners, not machines. Try to make them, you know, as close as you can, both of these handles. But it'll never be perfect. And I'm just going to be eyeballing it. I'm not going to be measuring how thick they are or anything. I'm just going to try my best to make them look identical. Okay, I know it looks bad right now, but don't worry, it'll look better in a second. Truth is though, it's just a pretty small rolling pin. I made a big one before, so obviously if you want a bigger size, get a bigger piece of wood. But this is just going to be a nice little mini rolling pin. Alright, now I'm going to start rounding out the ends. Don't cut it off completely because we still have to sand. Okay, here it is. Yes, I know it still looks a little weird with these handles looking like that. Don't worry, we're going to sand it all down. Then when we cut this off, it'll look better once these handles are actually sanded on the ends. So here's going to be the overall shape. Try to make them as equal as I could. Like I said, smaller rolling pin. If you want a bigger one, get a bigger piece of wood because these handles are pretty tiny. I'm not going to lie to you. But so now we're just going to sand from 80 to 320. I'm going to get my burn wire, make some nice marks on the handles, and then finish it off with 400. After that, some Yorkshire grit and some finish. Okay, so here we are. We stopped at 320. I didn't record this, but there was a little knot here that was kind of rotten, so I filled it up with some CA glue and some sawdust. Looks pretty good. So now let's make some marks and burn them up. I'm not sure if I want to make 2 or 3. I think I'll just do 2. Maybe 3. And now we can finish it off with 400. And here we are. As I said earlier, I've turned this wood before, and you would think that these lines, like you guys can see the grain right here, you would think that like it would contrast very nice when you put some finish on. It really doesn't, to be honest. It's actually kind of a boring wood. So I think what I'm going to do, first off, I'm going to whittle these down a little bit. Whittle, I think that's the right word. I don't know. Just cut it down just a little bit more so I could sand it a little bit more by the handle where I'm going to cut it off. Not too much because I don't want it to snap. But then I'm going to get my torch and I'm just going to torch this whole thing up. That looks pretty good on that side. Okay, just like that. Pretty clean cut, so I don't need to go through all the grits again. I'm actually just going to use 400 for that little tip. All right, there it is. Now let me go get my torch. Let's see what happens. Okay, now let's get some Yorkshire grit. Get all these burns you know, there's some burn residue, get all that off, and then we could put some finish on, cut it off, and we'll be all done. Just got the extra fine or micro fine Yorkshire grit and a black Scotch-Brite pad. Okay, looks pretty cool to me. Let's go get some finish and put it on. Just using some tried and true original. It's a linseed oil, linseed and beeswax, I think. So now I'm gonna cut off these sides, hand sand the little tips, and then wait about 45 minutes and wipe off all the extra finish. Then I'll show you guys the finished product.